Welcome to CAUIM SNMP Collector Probe 2.x Workflow Configuration. This video will cover how to configure the SNMP Collector workflow to automatically begin gathering data, and then how to make that data visible within UIM. We'll start by taking a look at how to get the target devices into the SNMP Collector by using the Discovery Agent and the Wizard. Next, we'll add a template to start gathering the data. And then we'll look at the data in USM and the PRD.
The first thing is that in order to get data into SNMP Collector, you need to either put it in manually, which we'll cover at some other time, or put it in automatically using the Wizard for discovery. Now, we need to have a discovery agent in place on the device that we'll have SNMP Collector running on. This is important to keep a view of just one device. So in this case, we'll look at this particular Wizard. We have our credentials in place, and we have whatever scope we want to look at. Now, in this particular case, I ran a very large amount of discovery, brought in about 3,000 devices. You would go all the way there and do run discovery now. Now I've already run this and it takes a while, so we won't do that over again. But what we end up with is a bunch of devices that have keys over here, which shows what the SNMP credentials are. And in this case, it's the one that we did. Now our origin is the device that we have SNMP Collector on. So having done that, we can now go over to SNMP Collector and configure this so that we can pull some of these devices. Now the first thing you'll see in the discovery filters is a discovery server address field. Now this by default comes in the 2.2 series and before as the device that we are on. Now we don't have a discovery server on this hub, so what we're going to do is put the correct values in here. So that's the correct devices. Now we're also going to do a discovery agent. And in this case, it gives us an error that is incorrect. This is a bug in this version. It won't let you do anything unless you change that. But let's try it anyway, because that is the correct value. So we'll save it. And it says we need to do that. So we'll make it happy. Now, as I mentioned, we've discovered about 3,000 devices for that on this particular discovery agent. So we're going to want to make this a little smaller here. So let's put some of these things in here, and we don't want that many of them. So let's do 1 through 10, and then we'll save that again. And we will query the discovery server. It says that it succeeded, so we will let it reload. We can see over here now that what's happening is that it's being discovered, and that's what that pending state message is about, and the little hourglass. Now these are fairly small devices. It shouldn't take very long to do that. So we'll reload. So here we see that we have our 10 devices discovered, and they're over here and in good shape. We can look at any one of them and we can see all the various things that have been discovered here. And if we want to, we can drill down and see how many interfaces we have and see what the specs are for them. But what we really want to do is look at the template editor, which should give us the opportunity to just start monitoring all sorts of stuff. Now you can see that we have 5 default templates. They're all turned off. This is version 2.2.2, and they're read-only. So what you have to do is to actually copy one, and we'll take the default because it's a small one. We'll just call it copy, and we're going to make it active, and we'll submit it. We're going to go here and we're going to change the polling interval. You aren't going to want to do this yourself because this will create a flood of data. And now we're going to save it. It will apply the template to our 10 devices. And this will be polling on a 1-minute interval for roughly 300 metrics per device in this case. So we'll go back here and we're going to refresh our browser, and then look and see, did this actually get applied? So if we look at something that we know is in the default template, in this case we'll look at, say CPU, and we're going to check and see if the utilization is actually turned on here. And yes, it is turned on, and it is on my copy template. So far so good. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is look in our performance reports, because data will come in there first before it goes anywhere else, and look at some particular metrics. Make sure that these metrics are coming in. So I choose one of the devices I know we're monitoring. There aren't that many, there's 10 of these. And we'll look at the CPU utilization, which we know we have configured. And we can see a little bit of data there. So now we can see data for any one of these. We can look at interfaces, various things, anything that we're monitoring will show up here. Now if we go into USM, we would look at the same device, for example, this one, and now we see right now that it hasn't got enough data to actually show us everything. So it may or may not show us the metrics. It's got enough data to give us actually a few metrics, but not much. The Interfaces tab will come in before anything else. You can see there's some metrics showing up here. Given a little bit of time, we'll see the rest of it here. So then we can come to USM, look at the metrics in USM. We'll look at the first one here. If everything worked right all along the line, you should get 3 or 4 here. There's a memory utilization as well that's apparently not on this device, or we're not able to get it. There's the metric family and all of its associated metrics. And then there's the interface tab, which shows you the percent of utilization errors and discards. There's not a whole awful lot active on this particular device, but that's okay. We're able to see what we can get from end to end.
For more detailed information about how to configure the SNMP collector probe, refer to the documentation wiki, or visit the UIM community to join in the discussion. The links can also be found in the YouTube description located below this video.